Saturday, September 20th, 2014. Lynn and Jamie continuing our assignment. Today we are beginning our drive to Florida later in the day than normal because our original understanding of the instructions was that we were to leave tomorrow morning at 4 a.m., but we were wrong. We were supposed to leave today as soon as we could. So we have begun. And it's time to do our session, and the assignment for today's session is interesting. The guides have been working to come to consensus on what to do about this biosphere and this galaxy. Everything upstairs seems to be done by consensus, and they're at an impasse. It's not quite the right word, but it's as close to the correct word as we've been able to come to. Forward progress in arriving at consensus has ceased, and now motion is just side to side. There are three options being considered, and the guides need more input in asking how we can be of service today. This is highlighted. More input is needed. So we don't really know exactly what that means, but it's enough to get started. So with that, we begin. I see that room that you were seeing before.
Yeah.
The blueprints and the really precise equations and the geometric solids. They're blue.
They're blue, like the geometric solids
in Montessori.
It's hard to say what they represent.
How may we be of service? It's to do with the one that looks like a cone.
Right.
There's disagreement, differing opinions on the input into the cone. There seems to be an optimistic faction that believes there's adequate input into the cone to create the desired outcome.
That's true.
And the other factions believe that's crazy wishful thinking. And so it would be very helpful for us to gather more data, but the way that we're going to go about it is in a search through time, and they're showing how we're going to go through the back door, meaning going into the past.
Yeah.
But showing again what they were showing us earlier about this particular body-mind being a crossroad of many different streams of incarnation because of all the different souls that have occupied this body-mind, and all those souls having had incarnations on many different biospheres, including several that have gone down.
That's true.
Just as our own biosphere is currently going down. And so we see how many of the higher dimension beings who have occupied this body-mind have experience on multiple planets, biospheres that have gone down. And so we can harvest that information in a way that is unusually effective. But it implies we're getting ready to go into the collapses of multiple biospheres.
That's true.
The first one is the red planet. I've seen this before from multiple angles. Ooh. Malaya incarnated there, Azar incarnated there, the courageous one incarnated there. They've all occupied this body-mind.
It's true.
They were all there. And they saw it from three different vantage points.
That's true.
Malaya from the point of a commoner, a normal human person, but like the human equivalent on that planet. The courageous one from the perspective of a higher dimension being that went into a body and had the position of the Pope equivalent on that planet, went into a body, became the Pope or equivalent on that planet, and couldn't make it happen. And Azar from the perspective of a higher dimension being who did not incarnate. And who felt terrible about it afterward. She felt horrible about it. Then, later on, all three of them coming here.
To Earth.
To try to prevent a replay. Which, of course, doesn't look so great. Doesn't look like it looks as though a replay is in fact going to play out here.
It's true.
Now the red planet did not blow to smithereens.
It didn't.
Stone cold rock falling through space. And they can see the value in that, but none of them believe that that's what's needed right now.
Right.
They all believe it's time to blow this one up, that their things are headed in a wrong direction at a too big of a scale to allow a malignancy to continue. They all seem very clear that the reset button is necessary. Do it right now. Right now.
That's true.
In other words, they're voting for the bookend on the right. Blow the planet to the new asteroid belt right now.
That's true.
They have experience with that middle option. Stone cold rock falling through space. And they say, nope, it isn't going to be what the overall situation needs for the good of the universe. It has to go. They have the gravity, it's a play on words, the gravity of the red planet situation in one hand,
right,
and the gravity of Earth's situation in the other, and they know that Earth's is much heavier.
Much worse.
Much worse. This is much worse than that situation was. We're not on the same scale. The numbers on the scale are different. Exponentially different. Exponentially more of a challenge, more of a challenge to the health of the overall universe,
right,
than the red planet was. Exponentially different. We can't do that. And they have already suffered the loss of one biosphere, and they will suffer the loss of this biosphere too, because they love it just like we do.
It's true.
But they say, look, we can't do it. We can't make a big enough impact here, even taking this one to stone cold rock falling through space.
Right.
To prevent the spread of this malignancy throughout the universe. It has to go, and it has to go right now, right now. When you have a really aggressive cancer, what does one do?
Get rid of it as fast as possible.
Get rid of it as fast as possible. No holds barred. Cut it out. Irradiate the areas around it. This is what they're saying. Cut this one out. Irradiate the areas around it. I can't quite tell. It seems to be counterclockwise. Irradiate the areas around it. Counterclockwise it is. And give chemo to the system. Make the whole system sick enough. Wow, that's intense.
Yeah.
Is that, in fact, check me on it. That's what they're recommending. All three of them.
That feels true.
They're saying totally aggressive treatment, as aggressive as possible. Cut this malignancy out. In other words, blow the planet into a new asteroid belt. Irradiate, and the other planets like it. Irradiate their surroundings.
I could be wrong, but it feels like they're going for the whole galaxy.
Oh, it could be.
It doesn't feel like it's just an issue of irradiate the biospheres. Now it's like, this is sick. There is too much sick in this.
Cut the whole galaxy out.
Cut the whole galaxy.
That actually feels more true. Cut out the whole galaxy, irradiate all the sector, maybe. And give chemo to the universe.
Maybe.
That could be it.
Because when I try to feel out just taking out the biospheres,
that's not what they're saying.
Right, it feels like taking out some icky bits of a big icky patch.
Right, so we need a Galaxy-ectomy.
Right.
We need to irradiate the sector. And we need to give chemo to the universe. And now, it's like the courageous one seemed to have been the spokesperson.
Yeah.
And he nods and sits down from the microphone. They know better than anybody else I know.
That's true, they've been through it.
they've been through an almost identical situation and quite recently. Now, here's some other people stepping up, and they're talking about something that looks similar to Atlantis, but it is not.
It does look similar.
But it is not Atlantis.
No, I don't think it's on
It's not on Earth, but it's a similar situation to Atlantis.
Very similar.
Yes, where it was headed in the wrong direction. They created the disruption where buildings exploded and everything went up in flames and people were shrieking and screaming and the civilization was gone.
Yeah.
And their biosphere turned around.
Yeah, and they pulled it together. I see that.
They pulled it together. Took a really long time.
Really long.
Really long time. But they did pull it together. And so they are saying, look, it can be done. What is being shown, other people are standing up and speaking. It's very thoughtful discussion. And they're saying what is missing from their analysis is the rate of change. The rate of change is acceleration.
Right.
And they're talking about the speed with which this situation is unraveling. And that this situation's rate of change
that is true.
Is markedly different. That's the phrase I hear, markedly different than the situation they're referring to. And therefore they're saying, that's a nice story, but it isn't relevant.
Right.
Mathematically, who's speaking? Statisticians.
Yes.
The statisticians are speaking, and they're saying, that's lovely. We like your anecdotal evidence. Oh, wow. We like your anecdotal evidence. However, those numbers don't match up with these numbers. It's an invalid reference. And the statisticians are recommending that this be stricken from the record. And now over there, can you see where the parliamentarians are ruling on whether or not, and it seems, check me on it, seems to be that they uphold the statisticians' analysis and that is an invalid comparison.
It's true.
Invalid.
The math just doesn't add up.
It doesn't add up. Oh, here come some people that feel.
Wow.
Oh, what
the
words?
Vibrations super, super high.
These are important.
Right.
Really
they seem.
Important.
The way I see it is just they're much taller than everyone else.
Yeah, much taller. And these are not normal guides. These are guides of guides of guides.
Of guides.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
At least 3 tiers up. Because they're so much higher in vibration than everyone else, they are able to give perspective that no one else can give. And they say they've seen things like this before, and that unfortunately their recommendation is the most extreme action is the wisest choice. That in the short run it is far more painful to take the most extreme action, true, but in the long run it's by far the path of ease and grace. And they are in it for the long run, as are we all in it for the long run. They're stepping up again and they're talking about the pain, heart pain, to take such an extreme action, how it hurts the heart.
Yeah.
But how this can be a point of growth for all of us, incarnating and not. For all of us who are involved, we can take this as not a bad thing, just a thing.
A thing.
Just a thing. And look for the gifts, that the gifts are always present for all of us. And that when we look for the gifts, we'll move on empowered, and we can come out of this far ahead of where we would have come out if this hadn't happened, if we choose to engage with it properly. That by making a choice to engage with this properly, we could in fact use this difficult situation to catapult ourselves forward. All of us, without exception, no matter what level we're operating on, in a body or out of it, without exception, we can blast forward on our path by choosing the right mindset, the right heart set. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
the right mindset and the right heart set with which to engage with this current challenge. I see heads beginning to nod in that area of the room where before the heads were shaking.
Yeah.
Now I see heads beginning to nod. Do you notice that?
I do. Not all of them.
No, but some. And I see some coming up and signing on the right bookend. What I think of as the right bookend.
Yeah,
which is
the big kaboom.
The big kaboom now. Whatever now means.
Right.
But now means darn soon. They're still standing there. You notice they haven't sat down
they're just
yet.
standing.
They're waiting to see who is left.
That's true. What more needs to be
addressed.